Alright guys, RoKage here and welcome back to the brand new video. Here we are. I almost said Street Fighter Duel, bro. Would you believe that? Solo leveling arise will be the topic, of course. On today's video, we're gonna do all weapon tier list. So from the R to the SSR weapons. I will give you my own personal opinion. Some of them I personally test them out. Some of them I saw other people doing testing out those weapons, so I collected many informations from many people overall so I can make this tier list as best as possible. Again, tier lists are pretty subjective at the end of the day. Yeah, there are some objective parts, but those tiny little things, I believe they really matter in that subjective department. So of course some opinions will be different from yours, and I believe that's all fair. Make sure to check out other tier lists on the YouTube, and as well make sure to leave a comment just so I know what do you guys think. Okay, so the weapons, we're gonna rank them from R weapons to the SSR weapons. I pretty much used a lot of SSR weapons, but also pretty decent amount of SR weapons. Still not even like a lot, but based on how I use them and based on the information those weapons give me, we can definitely make a proper tier list. So let we start immediately. Okay, this is it. So shout out to the database overall. Massive shout out to them. They created pretty much the template for the weapons and the hunters, so definitely this saves me a bunch of time, and I definitely appreciate that because I hate creating these thingies for the tier list. Honestly, I hate it. Okay, so let me start. I mean, overall we can also use the we can use, like, I don't need to go in game, we can use the database here, so it's actually perfect. Let me start with Demon King's longsword. Okay, most people put this weapon what I saw here, right? So this is like SS broken on hunters. You will see which one. This is like SS god tier. I'm putting this weapon here, and I will explain why. Why I think this weapon also deserves an SS, even though many people, like I saw it all over the place, put it in the S tier, which is really fair enough, and I understand all the reasons. But maybe I am sentimental with this weapon because this is the first weapon that I pulled, and I use him on Sung, and I absolutely love this weapon, especially when you need the wind typing. So when lighting is used, it applies a shield, and the users perform a counter attack. It's not so much easy to use weapon. Again, nothing like too crazy to use, but still you need to get that counter attack. Then this weapon will shine. Plus, this weapon has great ability to smash a lot of opponents at the same time, by the way. Okay, the weakness of this weapon that maybe demon weapon has, you will see, like, constant bigger damage, right? But this one, it takes a little bit longer to actually do the counter, do the shield, so you lose some DPS in this process. But because when you do the counter attack properly, the stun will happen, shield will happen, creates a shield equal to 10% of users max HP, stun for 3 seconds, duration 3 seconds, increases the user's attack by 8%. All of this is incredible for Sung. Creates a lighting that deals damage equal to 10% of the user's attack in the nearby areas every second. It lasts for 10 seconds, and then you have like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 5. Of course, I have 1 star. Inflicts the stroke lighting effect to the same target every 5 attacks. Again, I can do much more damage with just first dupe, okay? So it's pretty busted weapon, let's get real. And now when you completely max it out, I cannot even comprehend how broken it is. But definitely, guys, I will now talk for every single dupes. Just want to talk overall about the weapon. Not many of you can even dupe those weapons, so no point. But definitely all of those SSR weapons shine like crazy when you max them out. So in my eyes, S tier, absolutely love the counter attack, the shield, the stun, and the damage overall. But yeah, definitely a little bit harder to use and slightly worse than this weapon and I can't find it now, yeah, demon weapon. 100%. Okay, like these two weapons are probably one of my favorite weapons in the game overall. So we can discuss shortly and briefly about this one. So you probably know like this weapon, why I like it so much, because you can destroy like a million of enemies at the same time, full on, fast, crazy, plus against the bosses, overall massive damage. This weapon is one of the craziest weapons, SSR weapons in the game. So I definitely would agree that this weapon is slightly worse than this too, but the usage is different. So I still put it in the SS tier. That's how I see it. That's how I see it, and that's it. After look, Plum Flower. Okay, after successfully performing a dash followed with by Plum Flower, Swift Flight, they apply the full bloom effect. Plum Flower, look at this, increase the critical hit damage by 12%, stack up to 3 times, duration infinite, pretty busted. And then when you get like first dupe, you increase the dark damage. I'm sorry, you get this part when the user uses the Plum Floor's Swift Fling, applies the amplifying draw effect. It pretty much increases the critical hit on the next attack by 32%, and then also increase the damage by 32%, as you can see right here. Yeah. Look, like this first two first copies on any SSR weapon. Crazy busted overall. Okay guys, so definitely SS tier. The same goes is Skite, right? Again, crazy dark damage, super broken, can take a lot of enemies at the same time. I believe we don't have like a full-on explanation for some of them. It's still work in the progress. So I don't want to say... Oh yeah, that's it. When using Essence Harvest, consumes 5% of the current HP and increases skill damage by 100%. But this is where he shines. This weapon starts to go insane after that first copy. But you get that weapon for free, plus that copy for free from the challenges. Okay, so here you're gonna get the critical hit rate by 25%. Pretty busted. But your HP needs to be below 70%. Have that in mind. So it's a little bit, but again, massive damage even without dupes. Insane weapon, hands down. So yeah, this I thought this weapon does more tax than this. Sorry. Okay, Huntsman. Again, when you need a light weapon. Oh bro, it's broken weapon overall. One of the craziest weapons. So when the user uses judgment time, activates their core attack. When the uses judgment time, their core attack is changed to time to hunt for 6 seconds and increase the damage by 60. When the user basics attack, core attack, and time to hunt hits within 4 meters, overall increase. So it's increasing your damage constantly by a lot. You can destroy many enemies at the same time. Crazy. Short range, but definitely of insane damage. Again, with that first copy. Also, this weapon can break. Have that in mind. This weapon can also cause the breaking. So that's like super broken, but you need that. Look, and that first copy, if a target is in a break, it will increase the break effect by 25% and the damage. So yeah, that first copy really makes every SSR weapon goes completely nuts. Okay, and the weapon can break again 100%. SS, this weapon right here, I mean, I can read all of these weapons or I can just like explain to you, but I believe it's better that I read it. So water spray, 100% chance to inflict cold ice. It interrupts the target. Everyone who has this weapon, especially when you need like water element damage, the most craziest weapon for interrupting, dealing massive damage, and it's AoE like pretty much all weapons if you hit it correctly. But yeah, broken. First copy, deep erosion, cold ice effect, increases weakness damage taken by 24, crazy. And then again, more dupes, it just becomes super broken over time. 100%, it's worth maxing out every single SSR weapon. Okay. Now, this weapon, I would honestly put it in S. This weapon would be probably the only SSR weapon here. Okay. Now, I need to talk about this ones, like for the hunters, right? This is the SS ones. Okay, I'll actually leave for the hunters at the end. But pretty much this is all SSR weapons. Now, R weapons, I'll put them all in C, but you can watch my video about R weapons. I talked about that. And in my opinion, I wouldn't definitely salvage those weapons. Still build them up, max them out. Don't level them up, okay? Don't do it. But I still think when you dupe them out, those R weapons are not as useful as many people are saying. I don't want to say guarantee you, but I need to test out a few weapons. Potentially good weapon. This one, and this one. And there is more potentially really good R weapons. But why in C tier then, RoKage, right? They're nothing spectacular. First of all, they're nothing spectacular. Of course, the SR and SSR weapons will beat them every single day and blah, blah, blah. You know, always. But there are some weapons that I honestly think that you can use them. Now, I didn't separate those some weapons, so I could have created D tier then, but I don't want to bother. Just want to mention some potentially really good R weapons. And they're not for making big damage, nothing like that. That's the problem with R weapons. They won't increase your stats much nor anything like that. But sometimes, in some cases, if you use some broken SR weapon or SSR weapon, for example, and then you need one more weapon, but you don't have the right typing except for the typing from the R weapons, you can try them and use them, especially with 5 stars. Okay, that's the condition. Because here you have some interesting things. This one decreased the precision by 50%. Okay? That can be extremely impactful for an enemy, in my opinion. Now, this weapon, on the other hand, if you max it out, the damage taken increases effect rate is now 200%. Core attack by 40%. I believe this R weapons can buff Sung itself like crazy in that other weapon you're using, because of those effects that can be applied with this one. We're gonna see. I mean, I need to double test everything, but I can assure you I wouldn't salvage all our weapons. Make sure to build them up just in case. Don't level them up, okay? Don't do it. But this one won't cost you... Okay, it's 20k. Be careful. Always work first on SSR, then R weapons, okay? On SSR, SR, and then at the end with R weapon you can play around, but some of them in my eyes has some potential to buff Sung in some like crazy ways, I would say. But then again, they won't give you a lot of stats. It's problematic, not so easy, and so on and so on and so on. So don't invest too much in R weapons, but for the future playing around, I believe definitely they're worth keeping. That is something that I regretted before for salvage them, but yeah, I immediately got much more. So even though they're C tier, some of them might have a really good potential for Sung to go insane, and that other weapon you're using. It depends, really depends. Okay, so this is about the R weapons. Now the Hunter R weapons are actually pretty decent, so I'll put them, for example, into the B tier. Okay, now there is like one weapon that deserves to be in the SS with the SSR ones that are even better than some SSR weapons. So I'm putting this one, and then this one. This is like S+, bro. This potentially could be also here. Man, I didn't fully test it out, but this broken weapon, I know for a fact. I know for a fact of the people who use this weapon. Okay, so for now I'll put it in like S, just because I'm insecure putting it SS for now. Okay. Let me see what else can we put here. Honestly, in the S tier, we can go with this weapon as well. a really good fire weapon overall, but not that much. Okay, really, you're really slow with this weapon. Okay, now I went now into like full on putting, like, let me discuss a little bit about those SR weapons. I won't go in full on detail now explaining everything because it would last forever, honestly, but just want to point out some really good SR weapons and describe them and why. Like West Wind, have in mind, I would say that full potential of SR weapons are, of course, when they're maxed out, and they will give you insane buff. If secret bullet hits where there are no targets within a 5-meter range, increases the user's damage by 75%. That's crazy percentage, but the dupes really matter here. The effects of secret bullet change to charging skill, increase damage up to 160, increase wind damage. When secret bullet hits, applies west wind effect, increases the damage of the secret bullet by 300, stacking up to 5 times. When secret bullet failed to hit, deletes all stacks. Okay, so you need to be careful with this weapon. You need to hit. Decreases the cooldown of secret bullet by 15%, and when landing a critical hit with secret bullet, decrease the cooldown by 9 freaking seconds. Yeah, this is all the reason why this weapon are broken, and I'm categorizing this SR weapons as them being maxed out. The weapon that I used a lot, and I have it at a 6-star even, is this one. In my eyes, pretty good one. Pretty good SR weapon. That 100% critical, like you're gonna crit a lot with this weapon, and you're gonna do pretty solid and a lot of little stacks of the damages. And of course it increases attack by 8%, super useful for some guys, so definitely I would put this weapon here. This bow as well can go here easily. Really good damage overall. Super important weapon, especially when you're fighting the the bosses where where it's recommended to use the light typing. That these 2 weapons for the light, if you don't have this crazy weapon, will help you so much, and you can even go for the rank 1 with these 2 weapons. Rank top 10, let me say like this, so I don't make it too crazy. Okay, let me now put I'll now speed up the process. Some of them I did test out a little bit, some of them not so much crazy, but I know for a fact these ones are roughly A tier, in same level like this sword, flame sword. Okay, you won't see nothing too impressive, but they can be extremely helpful when you need the right element. Have that in mind. Okay, now this weapon can go into the S tier. Although that bleed immunity, that weapon would be here if there is no bleed immunity. By the way, one of the rare weapons that can bleed. This one can honestly go somewhere in that B tier. Okay, now we're gonna go, yeah, with this one. Again, I'm highly impressed with this weapon. Potentially also really good like this too, when you especially when you need the typing. This one is super good for the early game. A little bit falls off later on, I would say, but still. Now when let me just double check something, and I cannot remember now. Yeah, Night Killer, telekinesis, increase the user's defense. Okay. Now let's go when it's maxed. When telekinesis is used, inflicts the decay effect. Okay, decay when the last attack of telekinesis hits explodes after 1 second. Increase fire damage. Applies flame wheel effect. Flame wheel applies a shield equal to 100 out of 0 of the user's max HP. Decreases the cooldown. When decay explodes at max stacks, applies component destruction effect. Oh yeah, the target damage taken increased by 2%, stacking up to 5 times. So yeah, I would put it in S. It is a better weapon than this 3. Okay, now for some of those weapons, there is also, you know what? I'll put the B weapons here. No, I messed up. Hopefully I won't mess up now. But I believe this, yeah, this we can leave this into. This is what we're gonna do. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna do it like that. Sorry, I had to do that little change so everything would look better and much clearer. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the S tier. Yeah, pretty much we're done with the song weapons, and yeah, I'm pretty much happy with how everything looks like, honestly. Maybe a few changes. It really depends. Situational. It really depends on the subjective part. How did you use that weapon and everything else? Now I added here a rank for the hunters, right here. We're gonna put here the SR weapons. Can be really helpful for your hunters. And then in the S tier, like I can tell you for a fact, this like. Because some of them are slightly better for your characters overall here. So yeah, I didn't use this SR weapons at all in the tier list. This one B tier, honestly. What I'm doing, this one goes here. Yeah, pretty much they're roughly the same. It really depends related to the hunters. I mean, we can open it up, but I wouldn't like rank them too much. I will put them in the same tier, honestly. So let me go into the where I'm at. Weapons, RoKage. Weapons. So if I go and take a look for that SR weapons, like your power gauge acquisition rate increases, for example, then your basic attack increase. These are pretty solid weapons that can amplify your character depending on what your character needs. So that's on you to play around and see. But it's really situational, I would say. Some of them will work better on this character, some of them on that other character, but none of those weapons will actually make your character go like completely berserk like Sung weapons, on example. So yeah, honestly, I will put it like this: everything into A tier. And now we have few more. I believe this one can go easily as well into S tier. Now I am honestly not sure with that last three weapons, but I know this one is really good and definitely better than A tier weapons. Okay, and now we have like only two more weapons to rank from this and we're done. Plus I want to explain furthermore related to the hunters weapons, because some of them are slightly better than the others, but I will still put them in the same tier because they're created to buff that specific characters in the correct way. At the end of the day, those weapons are really dependent on how the character is good actually. So yeah, I would put this to here. I definitely think if I go here and just check out this weapon, I can't remember precisely. Not sure about that one only. When the user is sliding and a weight activates, it triggers the extreme evasion effect. Yeah, when the extreme evasion effect is active, it applies the hunting effect. Like only that will be so much helpful for the Sung guys. So it really deserves to be in that tier. Increases dark damage by 8%. The effect of Hunting Hawk changes. It can be used up to 2 times. Decrease the cooldown. And then look at this. When Hunting Hawk is used, applies Hawk Isle effect, increases the damage of Collapse, Death, and Shadow Stab by 30%. Really, like you need to max them out to actually work like this, like perfectly. Again, it's not a must to max out those SR weapons so they can be that amazing, but still, that's how I would prefer it overall. Yeah, this is something that I will put it like this. I'm pretty happy with this tier list overall. Not sure, maybe. Let me double check this one, please. I'm thinking between Baruka, Nimbless, increase the user's basic attack damage. Their eyes. Oh, critical. Yeah. That can be in the S tier for sure. And just one more weapon. I need to double check something. Frostbite. The 20% chance to freeze the target. This skill interrupts the target for 2 seconds. It applies erosion. Erosion increase weakness attribute damage. That's super useful. Super useful. That 12%. Increase water damage. The effects of bitter cold wind change can be used up to 2 times. Decrease the cooldown of bitter cold wind by 15%, and erosion can be stacked up to 2 times. Yeah, I would honestly leave it like this, and I just want to double check this weapon here on the B rank. Because I put some information where I would put certain weapons by double checking what they do, but I honestly forgot for some of them what they do, so I apologize. So when Earth Destruction is used, applies the Earth Protection effect. Creates a shield, okay. Increase wind damage. Yeah, again, shield, defense, wind, applies Earth Storm. Okay, with shield is applied, increase attack by 10% and defense by 10. Even though that's really nice, like you will get the shield and overall increase attack by 10% and defense, but this weapon really needs that investment. Like others, they're just better even without dupes, and this one you get the defense. Sung doesn't like too much defense. So yeah, this is pretty nice. Okay, and just to make a conclusion about this part, please. Can go and fuse. No craft. Just that part, please. I just want to talk a little bit about these weapons and then we're gonna end it. I tried to be as brief as possible. As you saw, I didn't went into full-on explanation of every single weapon. Can I? Yeah, I can see it here. Details. I need to be honest, for him, the user's wind increased by 4%, increase the user's basic skill damage by 3% when impulsive revenge or madness effect activates, stacking up to 4 times. So for his weapon and his weapon on a different level, this is the 2 weapons that I would say, maybe few of them more, that doesn't amplify this character so much to that crazy extent like others, but as well they don't shine so much. So I would still put them in like they're worse weapons, but still in the same tier because it really helps out those characters that are using it. You have a 100% benefit from those weapons. Let's get real. But yeah, some of them are just bad. Like, bro. The Choi weapon. Increase the user's attack by 5%. When attacking the targets burned by Choi-ing, the target defense decreased by 7%. Broken. Increase the user's HP by 0%. What the hell? That's some kind of bug. When the user uses Heavenly Blessing, the users and the team members' damage dealt increase by 4%. Like broken. Even without dupes. Increase the damage dealt affected by break. Perfect. Heat absorption. The user's damage dealt increased by 1.5. Truly, like this one as well. Intercept. Make him insane. This one as well. Make them insane. Like only... Yeah, this one again, light damage, increase the user's defense, like everything what that character needs, this exclusive weapon will do. But some of them are better than the others related to the characters, but at the end of the day, these weapons, I still put them in the same tier for already mentioned reasons. Guys, with this, we're gonna end the video. Hopefully, I really put an effort to create as much as possible, as best as possible tier list. Tested a lot of things that I could, even spend some money so I could test some weapons, but I didn't go too crazy. Don't worry about that. Just like few weapons so I can be like 100% sure. Still, I believe this weapon could potentially should be an SS, but I'm not sure honestly. Everything else, I'm pretty happy. Maybe a few details, but I like it how it is. So guys, this was the full-on SR, SSR weapon tier list for the Hunters and Sung. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Leave a like please and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. We're on a road to 50k, so let's get it as soon as possible. Bye guys.